Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Berg,
And I'm Dr. Jeanette Benegas.
and we are here to fix SLP.
We are discussing the biggest challenges that are currently holding back the field of speech language pathology.
We present the issues with facts and invite you to be part of joining our movement to make things better, one conversation at a time.
Let's fix SLP.
Hey, everyone. It's Megan and Jeanette.
Hi, everybody.
And we just wanted to do an impromptu recording while we both had a couple of minutes to invite you all to our newest call to action, which is to write a letter to the ASHA Board of Directors. You can find all the details about how to do this at fixslp.com. Just click on the latest post and it'll take you directly to the link where you can submit your letter. And then we also lay out how to write your letter. So we have a whole bunch of points that we are trying to make. And if you agree with those, you can put those in your own words. We're just encouraging everybody to not copy and paste, simply because it starts to just kind of get spammy for the board of directors, and then they stop reading everything. And they're humans and they're interested in other humans' stories. So the more that you can tell them about your experience, give them specifics about why maybe you don't think that the CCC is relevant anymore, how it's affected your career as an SLP. Has it limited you from being able to get different jobs? Has it limited you from being able to bill insurance? Do you feel like you're forced to pay for it when you shouldn't have to be? Do you feel like state licensing boards are now in effect and are now fully regulating the field, therefore the Cs are redundant? That's kind of the message that we're trying to send, if you agree with us. And a couple things to keep in mind are the board of directors, they serve 3-year terms. They're all volunteer positions. They are all unpaid. So when you're writing these letters, you want to keep in mind that these are people who probably, most likely, were not the people who installed the system that's in place that we're all so frustrated with. They're having to deal with it just like we are. And so just kind of watch out for your tone and really look for ways that you can find common ground, and realize that the common enemy that both ASHA and SLPs have is this dysfunctional system that we're all trying to exist within. What else am I missing, Jeanette?
I think you said it all. I do think what you said about not copying and pasting is important, and remembering that, again, they're volunteers. But my question was, do they read all the letters? And so you told me, yes, they read all of the letters, but there needs to be enough letters for them to even consider reading them. So if we're going to all take the time to do this, we need to do it in mass. And again, we do need to make sure they're unique letters, so those volunteers aren't sitting there reading the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's disingenuous. I guess that's the word, disingenuous from our movement if we're all sending the same exact letter.
Yeah. Yeah. And keep in mind that anybody can send a letter to the board, and usually the people who are sending letters to the board are people who know how the system works, and people who know how the system works tend to be people who have been around for a really long time, and their interest is in maintaining the status quo. And there's a lot of people in our field that believe in power over dynamics. So when we think about why is ASHA the way that it is, it's confusing, because I think a lot of SLPs, and I've thought this as well, as ASHA is this entity that there's this group of people that's making all this money and making all these rules, and they're just sitting in their little tower and waving their wands and whatever. But the reality is that it's a bureaucratic institution, and the way these nonprofit organizations work is super inefficient. You have staff that works in the building, that may or may not be SLPs. They're doing like the administrative stuff or writing letters or looking at policies or editing videos or whatever. Like they all have their different jobs, but it's the board of directors who guides the ship. And so they're kind of deciding on how money is spent and how ASHA staff is spending their time. And the board of directors is trying to listen to what members are saying. And they serve these 3-year terms so that it's, the board of directors is constantly rotating. So they're on the board for less than the amount of time that it takes for somebody to get their C's. Like there's just, for anybody who's volunteered for a state association or volunteered for a board, like, the frustration of like, you constantly lose that institutional knowledge. And people who are rotating onto the board are like, they have no idea what's going on. By the time they figure it out, like their term's almost up and they can't really do anything. So what we're trying to do is help the board see what SLPs want and help instigate that change a little bit faster. Because with bureaucratic institutions, it just takes a long time. Things tend to get lost because of that turnover in board positions. But the people who have been writing letters to the ASHA board of directors are people who, like I said, believe in that power over dynamic, and they want the C's to stay in place because having that allows them to be like, we don't want this person to have the C's. We don't want that person to have the C's. Like this, it allows for systemic racism, classism, homophobia, ableism, all of those things to thrive in our field when we have the C's that can be kind of held over people and we get to dictate like who gets to have them and who doesn't. So those are the people that are writing into the board. So we all just need to understand how the system works and use the system to write letters to let the board know what it is that members actually want. So the board has the power to have those conversations and make those decisions.
And I think it's so timely too. Truly, like Megan and I keep having these conversations. I mean, I'm sitting in a hotel room right now. I kicked my kids out to a pool so we could do this. We had no idea this was going to happen. We thought we'd just get some like good information out there and talk about things, but it's so timely because they are meeting in just 2 weeks. They only meet a couple times a year. We have a real chance to make change. I don't want to see this change take years. These are things that could truly happen overnight if they, and maybe not because there's logistic things, but like, these decisions can be made quickly. These decisions don't have to take years. So if we ask and we ask in the right way and enough of us do this, this is really something that we could see change pretty quickly.
Yeah, so the board is meeting October 18th through the 22nd, 2023, in case everyone's listening to this in the future. And so our goal is to have 500 letters submitted to the ASHA board of directors by Sunday, October 15th. And so if you do write a letter, we just ask that you send us a quick email to team@fixslp.com and just let us know. You don't have to send us the letter, just let us know that you sent one. Or you can send us a DM on Instagram @fix.slp. And we'll just kind of keep an informal tally of how many people say that they're sending in letters. And like we said, our goal is 500 letters by Sunday, October 15th. And you can find all of the information you need to write the letter and get it sent in at fixslp.com.
And the reason we're asking you to do that is because we really do want to try to make sure that we're getting close to 500. You're seeing this on our post. There is strength in numbers. So we want to make sure that our effort that Megan and I are putting in is producing some fruit. Because it's one thing to have a bunch of people cheering us on Instagram. And it's another thing for people to actually take a few minutes to take action. So in order to make this change happen, we have to have those people.
Yep.
Yeah. You can also, if you're not on Instagram or you don't want to send the email, you can also send me a message on Facebook. It's Jeanette, Jeanette. My last name's Benigas, Benigas. You do not have to friend request me. You can just send it. I will make sure I'm checking my other messages box. And also, in about 5 days, second week of October, I will be getting us a business page for Fix SLP. We'll just have everything pushed from Instagram to there, so then you could message us from there too. If this is, let me look at the date. I can commit to probably having it set up by October 11th. So if you're listening to this after October 11th, 2023, you can search for us on Facebook, and I will have a page there that you could also message if you send a letter, because I know some people just are not on Instagram, and that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. We've got the numbers, we've got the path forward. And for anybody who is like, no, like, we don't want to talk to ASHA, we want to take action, we want to take legal action or whatever, like, nobody's taking any options off the table. The goal here is to attempt open dialogue and discussion and transparency, and always have that be the first plan of action before deciding that other actions need to be taken.
Right. This is the path of least resistance for change. The legal action that takes years and years and years, right? This takes 5-10 minutes to write a letter. Megan and I making sure that that's happening, bringing people together. It's something that we can all do very easily for some quick change. And I'm like, just think about, like, they read every letter. If it gets on the agenda, they read every single one. Just think about how much time this is all they're gonna do at that meeting, is read 500 letters if we actually accomplish this. And 500 feels like a lot, but you guys, let me pull up Instagram here. I created this Instagram account on Monday night, September 25th, about 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since then, so it's been, 9 days? We have almost 3,500 followers. So that feels like a lot. Like, we were looking for, 1,000 or 2,000 by October 9th. And, we're blown away. So this is something we can all easily do.
Yeah. And just to clarify, they don't read the letters at the meeting. They send them to the members before the meeting, and then they all read them and then
so I was excited about everybody reading those letters.
Do they actually read all of them? That's why I'm saying that we need to get them in by the 15th. And as you're writing the letter, like, think about if you're the volunteer who's donating your time to be in this position, like, be concise, be direct, use bullet points, like, make your statement. Try to avoid, like, long paragraphs and long sentences and, like, going on and on and on. Like, just be concise and tell your story and make it personal and make it relevant to them. All right, I think that's all we've got. So, like I said, deadline October 15th. That's Sunday. Find all the instructions and everything you need at fixslp.com.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for fixing it with the you don't even have to edit that out. We're trying to do this fast. My kids are coming back. Thanks for fixing it with us, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.